This video is going to look at how we can graph our logarithmic functions with bases other than e or base 10, because once again, if you recall with the calculator here, we only have a log base 10 and natural log, which is log base e. But here we're going to look at how we can graph a logarithmic function with other bases using the change of base formula. So we have one example here, f of x equals log base 6 of x. And if we think about using the change of base formula, we could write this as f of x equals log of x over the log of 6. Or if you prefer, we could simply use the natural log, and we could write this as the natural log of x divided by the natural log of 6. So this is what we would put in the calculator. You could put either one of these into the calculator and you would come up with the graph. So if we go to the calculator, I'm going to put in natural log of x over natural log of 6. So go to y equals natural log of x, and again make sure you close the parentheses here, divided by the natural log of 6. So ln of 6. And then to keep kind of a good form here, again, close your parentheses. So that says we're taking the natural log of x divided by the natural log of 6. And I'll start out with zoom standard, which is number 6. And here we have the graph of our logarithmic function. So if I paste that here, again, we know that our logarithm should have this basic shape. And again, if you wanted to on the calculator here to see a little bit better picture, you might go to zoom, and number 2 is zoom in. And we want to zoom in kind of here in the origin where the cursor is flashing, so I'm just going to hit enter, and we can zoom right in on the origin, and we can see here is our nice logarithmic curve. All right, so that's pretty easy. If you want to graph a logarithmic function and you don't have a base 10 or base e, then you can simply change it using the change of base formula. All right, and one more example we'll look at, log base of 1/2 of x. And once again here, we could simply write this as f of x equals the log of x divided by the log of 1/2. Or we could use the natural log of x divided by the natural log of 1/2. So if we go to the calculator again, we can go into y equals, and we already have the natural log of x, so I'm just going to scroll over, and in place of the natural log of 6, we would simply type in the natural log of 1/2. So we would type in 1 divided by 2, and I'll start with zoom standard, so that's number 6. And we have the graph of our logarithmic function. So hopefully you can see that knowing this change of base formula can really come in handy in many different situations when you have bases other than 10 or e. So here we have the graph of our logarithmic function, and again, because the base is 1/2 here, we see that the curve is going in this downward direction. Okay, so once again here, simply looking at the graph of functions with other bases than 10 or e, simply use the change of base formula to find the graph. One thing you want to be careful with, just as a warning, when you put this into your calculator, make sure that you close your parentheses around, you're taking the natural log of x, so the parenthesis has to go around x and the 1/2. Or in the previous example, we need to close the parentheses around the x before you hit division, and then parentheses around the 6.